After more than 50 years of searching, this man finally laid eyes on the photo he'd so longed for. After being orphaned before he became a teenager, all Thomas Kane had left of his parents was fading memories. And as he reached his 80s, there didn't seem to be much hope that would ever change. But his granddaughter knew exactly what he needed. And for his 82nd birthday, she gave him a gift that he had thought he would never see. Growing up in Bladenboro, North Carolina, couldn't have been easy for Kane. By all accounts, Bladenboro is a small town, and even in 2010, it would only count a population of 1,750 people. And it was all in this dot on the map that Kane suffered the loss of his parents at a young age. Born in 1931, Kane lost his father, Henry Cathy Kane, when he was only 9 years old. That must have come as a big blow to the whole family, not least for his mom, who was left to raise her young boy on her own. But that wouldn't be the end of young Kane's heartbreak. Just a few years later, Kane's mom, Ora Mae Blackman, contracted pneumonia. Since this was in the early 1940s, treatments for any sicknesses weren't as widely available or as advanced as they are today. As a consequence, Blackman succumbed to the complications arising from her illness. Kane's mother passed away in 1943, which was likely traumatizing for Kane, who was still just a child and had yet to even turn 13 years old. What was to become of the adolescent Kane now that he had lost both of his parents? It's not clear who raised Kane after his mother had passed away, but it's perhaps an outcome, losing her and his father, that he developed a strong sense of family value. And it seems that love of family had passed down the generations. Indeed, Kane's granddaughter was more than willing to express the sentiment. "I love this man so much," Farrell wrote on a Facebook post. That post contains a video filmed around the time of her beloved grandfather's 82nd birthday. As it turns out, Farrell had a very special gift for Kane that year. Considering when his parents passed, it's unlikely that very many photographs of them even existed. As a matter of fact, Kane had certainly never seen any. Now that he was an octogenarian, all he had left were fading memories of their faces. In 2011, Farrell had taken on the challenge of finding a photo of Kane's mom and dad. "Everyone says that my grandpa is the greatest guy in the world. He loves family," she told Today in April. "I've always known that he's wanted a photo of his parents, so I just kind of started looking." Farrell's search began online with the genealogy website Ancestry.com, and straight away it led her to many photos of her family members: aunts, uncles, cousins, brothers, sisters, parents, grandparents. Almost everyone showed up in her search, but there was nothing of her great-grandparents. Kane's granddaughter took another approach. She contacted a newspaper, the Bladen Journal, local to where her grandfather had grown up. Consequently, it ran a story in the hopes that it might trigger someone's memory if there happened to be any old pictures tucked away and forgotten in the attic. Farrell had some response from the article, but ultimately there was nothing solid to follow up on. Then, as life went on, for whatever reason, the quest didn't seem so urgent. As she told Today, "I didn't give up, but I didn't pursue it as hard after a while." But then, all of a sudden, a woman contacted Farrell out of the blue, having heard about what she was doing. She claimed to be the owner of a picture of the very woman Farrell had been looking for, her great-grandmother. The woman said that it had been given to her by a distant family member who had relocated to Florida. Then, when Farrell saw the photograph for the first time, any doubt she may have had that it really was her great-grandmother soon disappeared. That's because the woman in the picture really did look like she belonged in the family. She was convinced that this was the photo she'd been looking for. "I immediately knew who it was," Farrell told Today. "My grandfather looks exactly like her. I can see the facial features of him and my mom, his daughter. I was just flabbergasted. I couldn't wait to give this to him." And it wouldn't be long before she'd had the perfect opportunity. It was June 6, 2013, shortly after Kane's birthday and right before Father's Day. There was a family gathering to celebrate, and attendees included Farrell, her mom, Joyce Farrell, who's Kane's eldest daughter, her Aunt Sandy, and Kane's wife, the equally amazing and beautiful Margaret. In a video Farrell posted of the moment, viewers can see Kane grab a present from a colorful, oversized gift bag. The gift is wrapped in bright green tissue paper. In fact, the paper is so bright it prompts his wife to say, "Green paper? You can see that at night," as Kane gently unwraps it. "You can rip it, Pawpaw. It ain't too fragile," Farrell says from behind the camera. Kane tears the paper off and looks at the photo. "That's your mama," Farrell's mom chimes in. It was a face he hadn't seen in 70 years. And as he realized who's looking back at him from the picture frame, his emotions kick in. As Farrell described on YouTube in June, in 2011 I began my search to find a photo of my grandpa's parents. Both his father and his mother died before he was 13, and no one in our family had ever seen a photo, including Grandpa. All he had left was a memory that slowly faded over time. So it had been 70 years since my pawpaw saw my mother's face, until this day in 2013. Farrell further described, "I'm still on the hunt for a photo of his father, who he hasn't seen in 80 years now as of 2020. But this was a wonderful start." The search for a picture of Henry Cathy Kane continues.
Thanks for watching another heartwarming video. Please check out our channel for more stories that will make your heart melt.